Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to War on the Sea. After the engagement between the North Carolina's battle group and the enemy convoy, I have gotten quite a few command points, so I can spend that on getting supplies from my base all the way over to Guadalcanal. For starters, that's going to have to be troops, so that we can capture the position, and then supplies so we can reinforce it. Turn it into a base, and maybe even a forward operating base. Launching aircraft from here would also be a great asset. So, making sure that nothing else can actually come in, I'm going to have the Gato patrol here. Just do a box patrol. What I would really like from the game is to have a patrol mode, where it just says, hey, this is point A, that's point B, now go and move back and forth. That'd be great, but unfortunately that is currently not in the game. North Carolina is going to get company from the Moleemann. So the Moleemann is a destroyer, and this group unfortunately lost theirs. I also have to keep a bit of an eye on what kind of encounter the North Carolina and the Amsterdam are going to have. Because, of course, they don't have a submarine defense at the moment. And on top of that, they expended quite a lot of their ammunition. So at some point they will have to go back and pick up supplies. And they cannot do that at the Renal Islands, because these are not yet upgraded. In order to do that, I'm going to need fuel. And in order to ship fuel, I'll have to get an oiler. I think the Cummings was coming back for repair. So you're going to go home, and we have another task force over there, TF10. I'm going to set these guys up here as well. Just like that. And then let's buy a couple of new C units. We're going to go with a couple more transports. Type C3s. 1, 2. Let's go with 3. Escorted by a couple of destroyers. We get the Gleaves class. The Farragut's are somewhat cheaper. Yeah, I can escort these with 4 Farragut's. It's going to be the Warden. The Dale. Oh, and maybe a light cruiser of some sort. There's a Cleveland. Cleveland is considered a light cruiser, but unfortunately at 42 points and 61 available, it's slightly too expensive. Pensacola, 22. Pensacola is classed as a heavy cruiser. What's an Atlanta classed as? Do they consider that a light or a heavy? Light, at 18 points. Unfortunately, there is one more ship that I need to buy. And that... Where are you? Is the Fleet Oiler. Type C3 is the transport, the Cimarron. These oilers are the only units that are capable of shipping fuel. So they're critical for the war effort. This means it's a pretty large convoy, at least when it comes to the cargo. So I'll have to keep these boys safe. Now the cargo, let's apply that. I'm going to have some fuel. No, I cannot put that on the C3, but I can put troops there. The other C3 is going to get troops. You're going to get troops. And the Warden is going to also get some troops. Because my plan is to sail by the Santa Cruz Islands and drop off the troops from both the Warden and the Dale. They're gonna drop off the troops here at Santa Cruz, and we're gonna continue on to Guadalcanal. And then the Cimarron is the only one which can carry fuel. Okay, that's done. Now we can set a course, and we're gonna head here. We'll arrive there in about 22 hours. Aside from that, Task Force 6 is coming back home. These guys were dropping off supplies over here at Renal Islands, and they've successfully done that. So there's nothing left on these ships. They just need to come back and pick up some more. What happens, by the way, when your base is empty? I don't know. Because I don't have that much more fuel left. Whether that's going to tick over into a new month and give you new supplies and new troops, I don't know. We'll just have to see. North Carolina has orders, this one has orders. Task Force 9 could take another east-west patrol here, ensuring that nothing else comes in, and the Gato has an overlapping patrol route. Yeah, let's get to work. Let's get these guys moving. I suppose that the Enterprise is still out for repairs for about a week or so, because she got pretty heavily chunked by those torpedoes. For the moment... Oh, hello. We have encountered 2 destroyers, 2 heavy cruisers, and 6 merchantmen. Is this the other convoy? that the submarines encountered. Because the convoy that I just sunk, or rather it was not a convoy, it was more of a battle group. Maybe this is a different group. Maybe this is the group that one of my submarines engaged previously. So let's have a bit of a fight with these boys. It is daytime for this fight, so we should be able to see them pretty well, and that's going to allow us to build a better firing solution. After the previous fight, though, we have expended quite a bit of our ammunition, especially from the Amsterdam. The Amsterdam has very, very few high explosive shells. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Her bow is expended. So armor piercing and high explosive on the bow is gone, but the stern still carries a lot of high explosive and armor piercing. North Carolina is fortunately in slightly better conditions. She still has high explosive and armor piercing for the bow, and some armor piercing and high explosive for the stern. And on top of that, of course, we have the secondaries, which still carry 3,300 shells and 2,500 shells on the other side. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. We just need to figure out where the enemy is and start killing them off. Anything spotted yet? Because there was an encounter. I'm kind of expecting them on the west. But you never know with this game. Not seeing anything so far. Hello, Amsterdam. Oh, something spotted me, alright. That was splashes. Alright, so we're getting engaged by something. And apparently, even with radar, they're still more capable of spotting us than we are them. What the hell? Minor damage to the Amsterdam already? Is that flashes in the distance? Yes, here. Right here. They're definitely trying to attack us from over there. Well, maybe not so much trying, they're succeeding in attacking us from over there. So far, no damage to the North Carolina. Amsterdam's not looking too hot. Aside from the fire, of course, that's looking pretty hot. Compartment strength is going down. So we're going to have to put that fire out quick before the whole compartment goes. Now, it'd be great if I could actually see the enemy. Aside from flashes. As far as I know, my radar is perfectly operational. Hello, boys. What exactly are you? Firing solution is already 12%, which is better than the nighttime engagement that I had. Fire at will. Amsterdam. Insofar as the Amsterdam can fire, that is. Because that remains to be seen. Considering she has expended most of her ammunition. Aha! Right there. And there as well. That's the other target. Yep, new ship has been detected. On target 1, we already have a 28 to 30% solution. And it's probably going to get increasingly accurate as we close in. The only thing that I have to worry about is getting torpedoed. At least there aren't any destroyers, or sorry, any submarines around. Which is going to make it a bit more comfortable for me to push in with the battleship. If I can intercept and kill his whole convoy, it's going to deprive, at least I hope, Guadalcanal from some crucial supplies. So I can maybe push in after doing a bombardment with the North Carolina. Yeah, I'm seeing more ships here. Oh, it's a destroyer. That's the destroyer. Target 1 is the heavy cruiser. Target 4 is the other heavy cruiser. Target 3 is a convoy ship. Target 5 is probably an also... Yeah, that's the other destroyer. So the DDs are attacking and the other guys are retreating. I'm trying to make best speed here. At 28 knots, but I'm only doing 22. Sea states. Sea state 6. I believe it's not too bad. we inflicted any damage yet? Because we're targeting the cruiser. We're firing high... No, we're firing armor piercing at it. I don't think we've done any kind of damage yet. These guys do carry torpedoes over here and similar on the port side. So they could torpedo me if they really wanted to. And of course that goes the same for the destroyers. They too can and will engage me if given the opportunity. They're already going at me with the guns. Small hit on the North Carolina, minor damage. Amsterdam status. The fires are out. No damage. The compartment has been repaired to full structural integrity. So she's perfectly fine. Excellent. Can we say the same about those ships there? Is our 44% solution accurate enough? Well, yes, we have done some damage. Let's switch to a narrow spread. 46% accuracy. Range, 9,000 yards. Well, this is not so much accuracy, this is firing solution. That's the secondaries going off. Now, the narrow spreads are putting the shells in a tighter spread, hoping to deliver more on target. And I usually only do that when I'm approaching 50% solution, to make sure that I don't necessarily waste shells like that. I'm hoping that it'll work. Sometimes you can pretty much blow a ship out of the water very, very quickly. And other times you go, huh, that was not too accurate. You can see the plume of smoke coming out of the fire from the North Carolina there. Starboard side still burning up. But so long as we can control this, we should be fine. This is the tight spread right here. Look at that. That is a tight spread indeed. There is one thing that I'm a bit concerned about, and that's the capability of the destroyers start sending steel fish my way. So we're going to head full on to starboard. Hard starboard turn. And if they have torpedoes on the way, we should be able to throw them off. And at the same time, after winning the encounter, by the way, I can get more command points. And with that, more ships. Which can be very much useful in, of course, supporting the North Carolina and her assault. I tried getting another aircraft carrier before, but as it turns out, those are 90 points. So it's going to be a while before I can buy another one of those. Yeah, we still have plenty of firepower here. Plenty of ammunition. I'm going to try and come as broad as possible to ensure I can also bring the X turret to bear, the stern turret. This cruiser is having potentially several fires on board at this point. Now she is maybe out of commission, but for now I'm going to engage target 5, which is the destroyer. I'm hoping that the firing solution is going to go accurate pretty quick. I'm going to go to standard full spread. Range is about 6,000 yards. The reason why I'm switching target is because I think this guy is not going to escape whatsoever. They're still firing at me, but I suspect that the destroyer is more capable of doing damage in a shorter span of time using those torps. So I'm not taking any chances here. And for this we're going to switch to high explosive. We still have a fire going. It's on the funnel. But that's the only thing that we have going on. And that should be pretty easy to put out. Now with 16-inch against the destroyer, I'm expecting some good results. It's just that we're not too accurate yet. 62% solution. DD is heading at a steady 19 knots, not changing course, not changing speed. She's making it really quite easy for me to engage her. The other DD is maneuvering, turning to starboard slowly. So she is eventually going to cause some issues. And unfortunately this ship is not quite capable of engaging, as her stern batteries are the only things that still have ammunition. So she is definitely going to require some resupply after. Okay, it looks like the DD took a really big chunk of damage. Ship is almost dead in the water, which will make the solution probably more accurate. 62%. Come on, North Carolina. Another couple of good salvos, and that destroyer is toast. Very close, these splashes. There we go. That's the destroyer dead. New target 2. The other destroyer. The other destroyer is at a range of 5,300 yards and closing. North Carolina still taking some damage. But again, I don't think that they can do that much against me. Because the armor on the North Carolina should be more than sufficient to defend against, well, most of these small shells that the destroyer is putting out. So I'm not really worried about the DD. And the cruisers, I'm not even sure what the other cruiser is doing, other than just sailing around here at supposedly... No, sorry, that's the DD. The DD is doing 20 knots. This one's probably doing 5, if that. And they're probably really slow because they're trying to stay behind their flagship, Ship 1. Now at this point, it should be possible for the Amsterdam to start attacking target 2. So that's the DD. And the DD2 is taking some serious fire. And not just that, they have already taken a few chunks of damage here. Splashes coming up all around the ship. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah, there she goes. Target 2 is down. Alright, next target. We shall engage the cruiser that we were engaging before. Same for you. We're going to not fire high explosive, we're going to fire armor piercing at it. Come left. I want to head towards target 3 to make sure that they don't escape me. Target 1 solution 38%. It's mostly a turkey shoot here. It's going to get interesting by the time that I actually encounter a battleship. But so far, that hasn't happened. And I can't say I'm too sad about that. Because I really don't have too much beyond the North Carolina that's capable of taking down a battleship. Unless, of course, you get lucky with a submarine. Which is possible. Moderate damage to the North Carolina. Again, some fires are raging on the ship. This transport's heading away, but probably not too quick. Target 1 is getting hammered here. And supposedly we can do a manual identification on this ship. Could that be an Alba class? No, the Albas have 2 turrets. Mogami? No, a Mogami usually doesn't have... Well, it could be a Mogami. Let's see. Or a Miyoko. Turret. Yeah, I think it's a Miyoko. So I'm going to classify the target as the Miyoko, which instantly puts me at a better firing solution. And there we go, we're at 76%. I think that the other one's also a Miyoko then. No. This one doesn't have the 3rd turret. So that would make you, potentially, the Alba that we encountered before. Turret, high on a barbette, 2 funnels, positive identification, Alba. No, now you misidentified this one as the Alba. Hold on. This one was the Miyoko. She appears to be dead in the water. No speed whatsoever. Damage to the Amsterdam is getting severe. She's getting heavily damaged. Moderate flooding even. Let's have her disengage. so that I don't have to buy a new cruiser at the end of this fight. Now after these two are dead, it's just a matter of time until we can find and eliminate all of their transports. Shells, plenty. Although I probably wouldn't want to go for yet another encounter with the North Carolina. She is starting to run a little light. Now I'm going to do a manual shot at this ship, because it's usually more effective. If you look at what the ship's doing, it's more or less jumping around with the range. 6800, 6400. It's like the ship is still guesstimating. But this ship is stationary, so I can tell it exactly to fire at a range of 6560 yards, because that's the exact location of the Miyoko. And that should lead, there we go, to a better spread and to more damage to the Miyoko, which at her 0 speed is not going anywhere. Now just to ensure that I don't get torpedoed by either the Miyoko or what I suspect is the Alba behind her, I'm going to turn the North Carolina back to port. Keep hitting her amidships. She must have some serious flooding going on at this point. She isn't listing yet, though. Some damage. At least scarring on the hull, if you will, but no... Well, maybe listing to port a little bit. $6,300 yards, is that accurate? Pretty much. Target exactly at the Miyoko, 6,200 yards. There we go. Another good hit. They have another fire going. This heavy cruiser is pretty much toast. I would really like an after-action report where, like Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, it shows you how much damage was done by what particular type of ammunition. Whether it was a torpedo, a 16-inch shell, stuff like that. Yeah, she's definitely listing. There you go, Miyoko's dead. Next target, I'm going to classify this one as the Alba. And let's see how the North Carolina's doing. Pretty healthy. Oh, I turned a bit too much, didn't I? Alba is sitting still. Alright, works for me. You, target that. We're going to target that with high explosive. That should be more than sufficient. Oh, that's, that's the only thing we have. Because I don't have the capability of using anything else. Now, recognition guide. The thing that we're targeting is not that. It's probably their version of a transport. Something like that. Yeah, it looks accurate. So if I have a solution now, it's 18. If I say that's it, I just jumped to 20. Cleveland? No, you dum-dum. The Nippon Maru. This needs work. Nippon Maru. Target 6? No. Target 6 isn't identified as a Cleveland. No, I can identify it as a Meihan. Kamogawa Maru. There we go. Solution 30%. North Carolina is still hammering away against the Alba, and the Alba appears to be listing to starboard and is sinking. Alright, target that ship. Fire high explosive. Oh, we still were. Alright, fine. Just gonna butcher some transports and we should be done. Damage, moderate. Structural integrity on some of these compartments is a bit lower than I would like, but aside from some damage, there's no lasting damage, I suspect. I'm not sure if the Amsterdam can say the same, because she appears to be in a bit more of a troubled spot. Anyway, I'm just going to butcher these transports and I'll be right back with you. A little while later, this is the after-action report. The entire enemy group has been sunk. We have sunk 52,569 tons of shipping, killing 2 heavy cruisers, 2 destroyers and 4 transports. We've introduced a lot of sailors to Davy Jones today, and the North Carolina and the Amsterdam deserve a rest at this point. Not only because they've done a lot of damage, but also because during that they've taken some damage themselves, at least the Amsterdam has, and on top of that I don't have that much ammo left. So it's time to send both North Carolina and Amsterdam all the way back here, which is going to take them a little over a day, 27.7 hours, and these guys are going to get their fair share of rest. With 58 points, I could buy a few more ships. Let's see what I could get for 58 points. Could I get another North Cal? How expensive are those? 80 points. That's a bit rich. I cannot afford that. What other options do I have? Not that many, I'm afraid. Although I could attach another couple of escorts to this task force here, because I find it a bit light. It has these 2 destroyers, but there's 4 transports in here, and I want a bit more protection. So I'm going to send in maybe a Brooklyn. Let's see, they have decent anti-aircraft fire. They have main guns and secondary guns. They do not carry any counter-submarine weapons, but that's what I have the destroyers for. They have no sonar, active or passive. But they do have 6-inch guns, which means that against enemy destroyers they could be more useful. Although I'm not really expecting any destroyers out here. A New Orleans with her 8-inch guns might be more suitable for what I have in mind, because she's going to be capable of dealing with other cruisers quite a bit better than my destroyers can. So let's say that I want her. Yeah, okay, select a new base, fine. I want a New Orleans at 22 points. These things are very fast at 22 plus knots. And I could have a Cleveland in case I get engaged by something else. We also have the South Dakota class. These are 80 points. Still too rich. How about 2 New Orleans classes? That's 44 points, and I keep I keep 14 in reserve. So the New Orleans and the Astoria have been ordered. I'm going to set these on a course. Make sure they link up when they're close enough, because Task Force 9 is going to be limited by the speed of their transports. So I should be capable of getting up to their position pretty soon, and then join the groups together. Making for a much better protected convoy, hopefully. Over here we have the Cummings, which is going to get repaired. So I'm going to release her to get repaired. Yes, you. Status on the Cummings. 5 days until repaired. Very good. We have an aircraft encounter here with the ASW-2 group. I'm going to just ignore that. And I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Next part, we're going to try and attack Guadalcanal, depending of course on how much Task Force 9 is going to encounter in the meantime. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments, and I'll see you soon for another episode.